White hives are the best hive color when it comes to honey making. So that's why in this video, I will be giving you guys a complete white hive guide. Now before you guys go on and say, oh my goodness, this is a blue hive making this video, don't trust them. I studied for about 3 days on this. So make sure you do stick around for the entire video. And so without further ado, here is the white hive guide. Now obviously, like how we start every other hive color guide video, we're going to start off with the hive composition. And as always, you're going to put your trusty little basic bee down here. Of course, you're going to need them for the times 1.2 pollen. You're going to go ahead and put a brave bee for that extra bee attack. You're going to put a hasty bee down here. You're going to need the hasty bee so you can collect your instant conversion from the precise marks and for your triangulate when it comes to the vector's ability. Stubborn bee for that live token ability ray, that's going to be very important when it comes to every single mythic bee, event bee, or any other bee that's important for white hive for the token to last longer. And then finally, you're going to add a looker bee for that free critical chance, which is also good for the precise marks and the triangulate marks, which collect even more pollen and having more critical chance. Now we're going to be moving on to the epics now. Commander bee, you need a further critical chance, obviously. Honeybee, this is probably one of the most important bees in a white hive because white hives are all about the honey from tokens, which honeybee gives 25% plus. So make sure you have your re-gifted honeybee in here. And then you're going to have your shock bee for that free times 1.1 capacity in white fields and for the free haste token. Now moving on to the gifted legendary bees. We're going to go ahead and start off with the baby bees. You're going to need the baby bees for the consistent baby love tokens that will spawn that give you the 2x pollen for free. And we're going to add about 5 like I did here. And then we're going to go ahead and add a music bee for the 2 pollen from gathering. And then for that line bee for the colorless bee attack, which you will have a lot of colorless bees in the white hive, so that will be very beneficial for this guide. Correction, music bee gives 25% pollen for bead gathering, not 2 pollen. Sorry about that. Now you can use a carpenter bee, but it's not really that popular for an addition to a white hive, as it does not add much besides the extra conversion link and being an extra white hive type. If you really need the extra conversion, you can keep it, but most of the time a vector will serve much more useful. Now moving on to the event bees. As always, we're going to add our trusty little tabby bee for the 50% critical pattern that it gives. Next, gummy bee for the 5% honey for pollen. Photon bee for that free instant conversion, which is really helpful as a white hive. Bear bee for the free barrymores, obviously. You're going to need windy bee because white hives are really dependent on the white pollen boost, and windy bee does give white flower boost tokens, which is going to be very important, especially if you do have bee ability rate mutation on your windy bee, which will help spawn even more white pollen boost tokens. Now this next one might surprise you guys, but we are going to be adding a puppy bee. This is because puppy bee got buffed. I'm going to show you guys exactly how he got buffed. Back in the past, puppy bee used to be dropping puppy love tokens that give your bees all this bond and stuff, but now on it made it to where it's basically a bear morph ability. It increases your bond with up to 10 nearby bees by 60 plus 20 per level as always. But here's the big part. It grants 10% bee move speed and 50% bee gather amount for 10 seconds plus 1 second per level. And as a wet hive, that is going to be very important because bee gather amount and bee move speed is going to be really important as a wet hive. Bee move speed for the vector bees especially. And then finally, of course, we are going to be adding a digital bee. Here's the thing about digital bee. You are definitely going to need, no exceptions, you are going to need 500 white drives and 500 red drives on your digital bee. Otherwise, a boost wouldn't really work well without it. If you have, let's say, 200, sure, that's fine, but you still really need 500 of red and white drives. Also, try and build up your glitch drives as well. Now, moving on to one of the most important parts of this hive composition, we are moving on to the mythic bees. Now, everyone knows that the main bee for a white hive is going to be the vector bees. And here, we will be needing about 20. Let's go ahead and put them down. And now we're done with the vector bees. As you can see, we have about 20 vector bees in total. You're going to need vector bees because of the triangulate abilities that they have. It basically tears up the entire field, so that's why you're going to need all those fuzzy yalls to repollinate the field, obviously. Actually, let's go ahead and add one more vector bee at the top. And the last vector bee we will be using is going to be the precise bee. And you're going to need about 7 of them, so let's put them on here now. As a white hive, you are going to need precise bees for those precision marks. Because as you guys all know, once you get all 3 marks completed, your bag literally just drops, no pollen in it. And as a white hive, you're going to be collecting a lot of pollen. Your bag's going to be filling it really fast. So that's why all that instant conversion will come in really handy. And that's also why we have hasty bees. That way we can go faster and get to our marks. So that way we don't lose our 10x precision and we can get our free instant conversion. And that's going to be it for this hive composition. If you want to take a screenshot, go ahead and take that. So that way you can just pause or you just want to read off your screenshot so you can copy this hive build. You don't have to make it as neat as this. Just make your hive as you want. Now moving on to the mutations for our bees. Now first we're going to start off with the vector bees. The main mutation you're going to need for a vector bee is going to be move speed. Move speed is going to be very important because vector bees travel for the triangulate, and moving faster it will help make the triangulate much bigger and making it collect more pollen. If you can't seem to get move speed, bee ability rate is going to be another really good choice because that way you can spawn even more triangulate tokens. If you can't get bee ability rate, go ahead and get attack. Get gather. Now moving on to our precise bees. Our precise bees are going to be much similar to the vector bees. Of course, the number 1 mutation is going to be the move speed, but if you can't seem to get move speed, of course you're going to get B-ability rate. That way you have more chances of spawning the target practice tokens. Of course, if you can't get B-ability rate, attack mutation is going to be the best one because they have a really big attack, especially for their target, because this dude literally has a laser attached to his head. Then moving on to your baby bees. The mutation you're going to need is going to be ability rate on the baby bee. Just use real jellies legendary until legendary plus mutation until you get the bee ability rate on the baby bee. Then you can just get to using strawberries. Now for our windy bee and our bear bee, of course you're just going to put bee ability rate match with the peppermint antennas or snow tiara on windy. The peppermint antennas and the snow tiara will increase bee ability rate significantly and help spam triple bear rewards along with times 10 white flower boost. And now for our honeybee, and if you are using your carpenter bee and your hasty, you'll be using bee ability rates because you're going to need to get that extra haste and you can get even more honey mark tokens. Gummy bee ability rate or move speed. That way you can get more freaking gummy mores from your gummy mask. And now for the main mutation of digital bee, literally no other mutation is better. The gather amount mutation. This is because collecting your smileys, the things that spawn in the fields, they collect lots of pollen and basically can destroy that one patch of pollen. And when you do collect it, and if you do have the gather mutation on it, it's basically OP smileys. Now moving on to one of the most important parts of this video, we're moving on to the amulets. Let's start off with the Supreme Star amulet first. What you're going to want on it, you're going to want to get white pollen from bees, critical chance, bee ability rate, and your passives are going to be Gummy Star and Star Saw. Try and get max stats for this amulet. Next is going to be your Supreme Ant amulet. Just try and get convert rate, critical chance, critical power, pollen, and white pollen. It's not going to take a lot of ant challenges, but trust me, it will be worth it. And moving on to a really tough amulet, it's going to be the Supreme Shell amulet. You're going to want goo conversion, honey from tokens, or white pollen, and you're going to want spider field pollen. The main reason why you're going to need spider field pollen is kind of self-explanatory. It's the only field with all these white flowers. Any other field, like for example, mushroom has some white flowers, maybe has some white flowers. Dandelion has a lot of white flowers, but this is the only field that literally only has white flowers, which is why spider field is the main boosting field for white hives. Now your next amulet is going to be a really hard one. It's going to be Supreme Conch amulet. You're going to want white pollen it, your mark ability pollen, and your honey from tokens. And now sadly, since Island really hasn't released a Supreme Stickbug amulet, you're going to want it on your diamond Stickbug amulet capacity 300k. Your convert rate is going to be times 1.25. Your bee attack is going to be +1. Red bee attack +2. White pollen 30%. Honey from tokens 100%. Next is going to be your King Beetle amulet. You're going to want +1 bee attack, blue flower field, and mushroom field. You're going to want these fields because they are robo challenge fields and you're going to need to build up your white drives for your digital bee, and so these fields will be very useful when doing robo challenge. And then finally your moon amulet, pretty self-explanatory, white pollen, or pollen from bees. Now for this last part of the video, I'm going to be talking about the main thing that I studied for these past 3 days, and that big thing is going to be boosting. If you can't boost well as a white hive, your hive is basically useless. I'm sorry. When boosting, you want to make sure you have auto stingers going on every 10 seconds. That way you always have an active star soul. Make sure you have a fuzzy yall pollinating the flowers, of course, because all of your bees are basically going to be killing this field. And before you are boosting, you make sure you are constantly macroing stingers and gum drops, because you do use a lot of them when boosting. Then you're going on about 4 gum droppers, about 1 right here, just sitting still, dropping gum drops for you, and dropping jelly beans if you do want so. And finally, the precise marks are insanely important, and of course you have to keep up with your timestamp precision. You need to keep that up throughout the entire boost, which also might be seen very hard to do. And also at the same time, you have to have a lot of precise marks as possible in the field, so make sure you do have a lot of those on the field. And so you're using the alignment key just like this for your gummy ball throws, so that way you can go back and forth through the precision marks. And that's about it for the boosting tips. And hopefully this guide does help you guys when you're boosting and creating your white hives, because this did take me lots of time to make and edit. So of course I'm hoping you guys have fun with your hives. Also, thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. We're getting so close to 500. I can't thank you guys enough. It means a lot. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video.